Hi there, you're in the lab with your mate JJ. Today is Maxitronix 30in1 day. My silly job title for today is Current Connoisseur. I'm the Current Connoisseur. And this is our project lab, and we're going to be working through lab number 4. Circuit 4 is the invisible power radio. So, looks like we're going to make a radio without a battery in it. Who knows if it'll work? Rarely do the radio projects work, but we'll give it a go. So the first thing we're going to do is pop over to the computer and read the instructions, and then we'll jump into KiCad and draw up the circuit, and then we'll go over to the booth and we'll put it together on the board, which you can see over there. And then we'll take it over to the bench and we'll put it through its paces and see how it behaves, and then we'll wrap up. So let's jump over to Proviso and have a look at the instructions.
All right, well, here we are on the computer, and fire up a web browser, and we've got, we need to synchronize. There we go. All right, so this is project 4 called the Invisible Power Radio. So, in the wiring sequence for this circuit, you will see a term we haven't talked about yet, ground. The schematic symbol is as given. Ground means that you actually connect a wire to the earth. One convenient way to do this is to connect a wire to a metal cold water pipe. Water pipes run through the ground. First, use a cutter to divide the green wire into 2 pieces. Then strip both ends of each wire by removing the plastic insulation from the wire. Connect the end of one wire to the pipe. If you can't use a water pipe, you can drive an iron stake into the ground and attach the wire to that. You can get the extra wire, also the metal ground rod, you will need for this at your local Radio Shack store. Okay. When the wiring is complete, put the earphone in your ear and turn the tuning knob, the variable capacitor, until you hear a radio station. This is a very weak radio and you will have to listen carefully. After you've listened to the radio for a while, take a look at the name of this circuit. We are not using batteries, so where is the power coming from? Believe it or not, the power is coming from the invisible radio waves that are moving through the air all the time. The radio waves are intercepted by the green wire and are sent to the antenna where they stir up the atoms of the coil of wire. This stirring up causes small pulses of electricity to flow out of the antenna. The variable capacitor filters out the pulses of electricity from all but one frequency of radio wave, one radio station, and that electricity is changed into sound by the earphone. It is easy to understand why the sound is weak when you see that the power comes from out of the air. Note, in a schematic, if 2 wires cross like this, they are not connected, and if they cross like this, with a dot, they are connected. Reception not very good? Okay, try some experiments. Try connecting the ground wire to terminal 6 instead of 7. Or try connecting the green antenna wire to one of the other antenna terminals. Often just changing connections like this can make a big difference in how good the radio works. Better still, use an outdoor antenna. Radio Shack sells one just for shortwave radios. It works well for circuits like this. But be sure you have at least one adult to help you install the antenna and don't get near power lines. Okay. And then we've got the schematic is here. And then we've got the wiring sequence here. So what we're going to do first is build this circuit in KiCad or KiCad. So I'll just pop that over there. And we'll go File, New Project. And we're going to go up 1. There we go. And this will be 04. Very good. So let's open the schematic. All right. Oh, I don't know how to add an antenna wire. Oh, dear. Well, antenna. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them. Let's use this one. All right, and we'll zoom in a bit. All right, very good. So, we're going to add, what is that coil? Oh dear, I don't want a relay. I want device, maybe a device. That's close to what I want. There's a lot of options here. Let's just flip through and see if we can see one that looks about right. That looks about right. I don't know. These are transformers. We probably don't want a transformer. Maybe we could build one out of smaller ones. I don't know. I'm gonna call in sick. I'm gonna say we're not gonna do this. I don't know what KiCad component I should use for this antenna coil here. I don't know what that is in KiCad. So we're gonna skip the circuit build. I will save changes, but we haven't really done the circuit. So the next thing is to actually build the kit. So let's go over to the booth together and put this thing together. All right, here in the booth. So I'm going to take the wires out and then we'll put the wires in. All right, so that's the wires out. And we'll just pop this over to the wiring guidelines. And let's put these together. All right, well, that's the kit assembled. So let's take it over to the bench and have a look at it. Here we are in the booth. Now I think we're going to have to take a little digression. This thing wants us to wire this pin to ground. And I don't want to take this thing outside and try and find a pipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of these adapters and wire a power alligator clip to it, so that we have a ground connection from up the back here in the lab. So I'll do that with you in fast forward, and I'll just make that, and I'll check in when it's done. All right, so we've got this cable made. It picks up the earth from the wall power, so the actual business end is not connected, but this earth is connected, and we can just plug that in. So I've got power here, and we'll just pop that in there. And then we've got an earth clip here. And the other thing that we need is an aerial. So let me see what I can do about an aerial. All right, I've got this aerial here. It's labeled big aerial as opposed to small aerial. I've got a small aerial and I've got a big aerial. So let's see what happens if we plug them in. So let me just check the diagram. So one goes to the antenna, which is this guy, and then 7 goes to the ground, which is this guy. All right, now we've got our earphone installed. So this is as good as it gets. I'm just going to take my headphones off and listen in on the earphone. Okay, I can hear things. Yeah, I'm not really hearing anything. Yeah, it's just sort of this weird kind of static. It doesn't seem to change much either. It's kind of just static, static, static. We can try some other aerials. I've got a what's this? Oh, okay. Well, when I unplug the aerial, the signal absolutely stops. Yep, if I take out the green, the signal stops. Yeah, so that green earth lead is certainly required. Might see if I can get an adapter for the other antennas we've got. Hang on. All right, well, I found this cable which has 2 alligator clips and a connection for the roof aerial. So I'm going to plug this in for the roof. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, well I plugged this into the roof aerial, so let's take off the ground and the antenna. And let's just listen to that. Okay, it's not making any noise. Now let's assume I've made green ground and yellow okay, well it's a different type of sound. Different type of sound, but nothing really coming through. No. So the radio is picking up just some sort of garbled sort of noise. Nothing really consistent. I think I'm going to call that a wrap. I'll take you over the Fairball Cam. We'll wrap up.
And that's a wrap. So yeah, I guess I could have figured this would happen at the beginning. I never have any luck with the radios. I don't know if it's because of like the radio has changed since the 80s or the 90s. I don't know if the same stations are still broadcasting or how that all works. I don't know. Or if it's all digital now. I don't know. This certainly isn't digital, just an old AM radio. So yeah, it didn't get a good signal at all, but I'm pretty sure we put it together right, and we did our little detour for the ground cable, so that's going to be handy to have. Yeah. So I think that concludes this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching, and please remember to hit like and subscribe.